Okay, nice to meet everybody here. Nice to see everybody who has arrived, who has found the time. So, welcome to Jenny 2026 Educator Session. So this is a space where we can pay a little bit more attention to the people that inspire, the people that have arrived here to show their best and everything that they've got. That's why we had the smooth jazz, because this is the last time that there's going to be any sort of a peaceful place before the big storm. Anyhow, I think we have a wonderful program today for you, especially prepared. We will be looking into some insights on future skills, intellectual property in the classroom. We will also have a story from one of our own alumni, and also an interactive session to top it all off so that you can stretch out after your flights or however you've gotten here up to today. But right now, I have the wonderful pleasure, for the first time out of many times, to introduce one of the most important people why we're all gathered here, and that's Salvatore Nigro, the CEO of Junior Achievement Europe, to say a few words before we kick things off.
I agree on everything except one. The most important people here are the youth.
Fair enough.
Before Jenny, before the official opening, before everything else, while still some people are checking in with their luggages, before everything, we start with the educator sessions. And there is always a reason why you do things in life, right? As well, when you plan such an event, which is the largest youth entrepreneurship event in Europe. And that's it because before any pitch, before any product, before any competition of those young people, before any trip that they took to their national finals or the European finals, before everything, there was an educator, a teacher in their class who has believed in them before they were believing in themselves. So that's why for us, and especially for us at JA in Europe, teachers, educators, professors are the cornerstone of what we do. Now I can tell you from my personal experience, because my mother is a teacher, so obviously I'm playing home here, but we want to see this community growing even more. We are about 100,000 teachers who are engaged in JA programs in Europe every year. 100,000 teachers. Without you, we cannot reach the 7.5 million youth every year. Without your work, without the extra hours that you are putting into it, because nobody's paying you to do this. Nobody's giving you extra because you're doing that. You're doing it because you believe in our mission. So I really wanted to thank you from the very deep of my heart. And when I speak to you, I really speak to my mother, that she grew me up, always with this idea, who ended up in my career leading the largest youth entrepreneurship organization that works with so many schools, right? It always comes out. Let me also thank the Ministry of Education here in Latvia and our partners in Latvia for hosting us. Let me thank the UIPO that is also joining us in this session today, in which we're looking to discuss about intellectual property and how this is important and what are the trends that we are seeing it. And over the next 3 days, yes, we will make a little bit of noise out there. This guy over there knows how to do it. But because we need to shake sometime the systems. We need to shake the systems to grow. Europe needs more teachers like you. Our next generation needs more teachers and educators who believe in the importance of that entrepreneurial mindset. And I count on all of you when you go back to really expand and reach out to other teachers in your school, in your community, to have them engaged on JA programs. So thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Salvatore. Wonderful opening remarks. Okay, so at this moment, I think we can absolutely officially say one thing, that Gen E 2026 is officially starting. And as you already pointed out, we have also some representatives from the Ministry of Education and Science as well. And that will be Ieva Siliņa. So we will invite her to the stage to say a few words to all of you.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I can see here that all the teachers have done what my students usually do, kind of take the last rows in there, and the first row is always empty one. I'm standing here today as not a representative of a ministry, but also as a teacher myself. Up to this semester, I've been teaching economics and business to teenagers, so I know what kind of work is that. We know that this room kind of is not full of people who admire education of business and economics. Of course, that is important business, but you are a room of people who are spending their week to explain cash flow to 15-year-olds. You are kind of people who are spending their weekends to look at the business plans, and when their student company falls like 3 weeks before the deadline, you are the ones to put it in place and also turn into the, not in a failure, but in lesson learned. Isn't it so? And this work is so much more difficult than how it seems from outside. And also, in the same time, it's so much important because it kind of teaches all the life skills and prepares the people for the lives they will be living in. And what we see, the results Salvatore I hope will be sharing, that it grows into economy afterwards. And those people are so much more prepared to succeed in real life. So it's out of utmost importance, your work, and I hugely admire what you are doing in here. Here, we, Latvia, we host this festival for the first time. We are extremely proud for that. And not just because it's a wonderful event and brings so much people to our wonderful city of Riga, but also because our teachers for years have been asking to be part of something bigger than just our schools, just our classrooms, yet here we are. So those weeks, please use it time wisely. Prepare your notes with teachers from other countries, what they have been doing, what you have been doing, perhaps some new methods from countries of different curricula, of different problems, of different solutions. Take the best of what you can. It's a wonderful opportunity you can bring back to us. And please know that here in Riga, here in Ministry of Education and Science, we know what kind of importance your work brings. Behind every student company, there is a support system, what is the teachers. So you are truly shaping the next generation. We truly admire you for that. And have a wonderful, wonderful festival here in Gen E. Thank you.
Ieva Siliņa, Vice Minister of Education and Science. There we go. Okay, and as for you for teachers, by the way, Sal, my mom's also a teacher. I don't know, is that like a thing? Is that a common theme throughout all of this? I don't know, we'll figure it out. But your job as teachers sometimes is to figure out what's going to be next, what's going to be coming up, even if sometimes the future may be slightly unclear. But our next speaker has the job of figuring out this future and maybe helping you map it out in advance. So I would like to welcome here on stage Zane Čulkstēna.
Hi. It's my pleasure and honor to be here. I think they select speakers accordingly because also my mom is a teacher, you see, so there's a common thread, you know. Okay, so but in 2 words, where I'm coming from, essentially, yes, so for 11 years I've been working with the biggest Baltic employers. And for now 6 years with the World Economic Forum. So we are gathering data for their Future of Jobs report for Latvia, Lithuania, and as a part of that, we launched also Latvian Education Accelerator that focuses specifically on career education in high schools. Why? Because we see that high schoolers' understanding about, you know, what's out there is quite limited. I'll show you some of the data points also from Latvia, but many of them honestly think they will be either influencers, YouTubers, sports trainers, or many other wonderful professions that don't show really in labor data. You know, but let's start and go through a couple of. I wonder, do I have a timer? I could talk for this for an hour, so I hope you will not have to suffer through that. But okay, so a couple of global labor market trends. This is based essentially on Future of Jobs report by World Economic Forum, which they publish every 2 years. This one is the 2025 edition, for which they gathered data in 2024, which in these times of, acceleration seems like 100 years ago. We have started to gather data right now in the summer, and there will be new edition for the Future of Jobs report at this year's December. But nevertheless, I think most of these things still stand true, irrespectively of 2 year, let's say, past. But essentially, there are 5 key labor market drivers. Some of them, as I said, even though it says 2030, it's actually 25. Some of them have become even more important. Some of them have moved a little bit in background for political reasons. But essentially, the number one is by far technological change. I'll speak a little bit more about it. Then there is a combination, I would loop these together, which is geopolitical fragmentarization. So it's like anti-globalization, which we see in the form of tariffs and other kind of weird things, essentially for a last bit more over than a year. And then, of course, wars, additional uncertainty, which does essentially shows up in economics. So economists are very so 50% of them are saying we're heading towards recession, 50% are saying we're not. So it's a very weird time we're living right now. On top of that, of course, demographic shifts, like everybody knows that's like the Great Tsunami, or respectively how we call it. Whole world is just aging. It's not just Europe, it's also China even probably faster than we do actually. And then green transition, meaning again with Trump's amazing policies, of course, there is a reversal on that, but Europe is sticking to its course. We'll see if it holds in the nearest years as well. So, as I said, the number one by far is our technological changes. These shifts are dramatic. They will have huge impact on the labor. And of course, there are several of them. By far, the biggest one is artificial intelligence. We all know that, but it's not just that. It's robots and autonomous systems. I guess you all have seen the videos with different housewives with the phones sticked on their head front, learning robots how to peel potatoes and doing other manual work that's outside factories, and that's been usually in hand labor. But then also everything that has to do with energy generation, storage, distribution, huge field, new materials, semiconductors, biotechnology, and so on and so forth. We're not going to go too much in details. How does it affect labor? There are tons of discussions every week. There is a new article on this topic, but by now it's clear that AI is one of the factors that is already affecting entry-level jobs, especially in US, where AI adoption is vast and where we have trustable sources of data to measure that. We don't know to that extent what happens in other countries, but this is US data, which shows essentially that if you look at the different age groups, it's particularly early career, 22 to 25, that has started to go down. There are many discussions whether if you would express it in the equation, how big of meaning is it 80% of this 100%, 60 or 40? Nobody knows really. There are other factors that has to do with different generation that is post-COVID generation that has Gen Z has very specific attitudes toward jobs. We know that they, for example, sometimes don't show up for job interviews or even job. So there are many. Essentially, employers don't really like Gen Z. I'll be very open. I've worked with many of them on a daily basis. There's also something to do with the fact that it's much harder to onboard young people in remote work or hybrid work settings than it is older people. They need more attention, so sometimes people opt out, and so on and so forth. So, nevertheless, AI is a part of that. Of course, it doesn't affect all professions equally. It is clear that the biggest drops are in the professions that are, most directly affected by AI, which is, for example, software developers. However, they see now that started level out because we still need advanced software developers. That's not the point. We just don't need very basic software developer. The big question is, how do you get from basic software developer to advanced software development? That's going to be a $1 million question. And then customer service, of course, is down on other jobs that are more kind of technical and repetitive, whereas everything in health industry is up. What has, however, the thing that no one doubts is that, and this is nothing new, however, AI has renewed focus on that, is that we're moving away from, jobs or even like occupations to tasks and skills. Well, for you, again, whom am I telling this? You know that very well. That's part of your profession, But essentially, for companies, it's a new thing because you have occupations, FTEs. So we have 35 customer service. We have 22 in sales reps. So that's how they think. So for them to change the thinking from occupations to skills and tasks is very, very difficult. If we boil it down to a specific skills, then again we could talk for an hour, hours for this about this. But these are kind of the top 10 skills that World Economic Forum is using as these no regret 10 skills. You have to understand that these skills are based on big employer surveys. These are huge, meaning but the ones who participate in them are fairly advanced companies. Majority of companies are small, medium-sized enterprises, So for them, I would like to say not all of this holds true, but again, this is essentially for advanced employers. Internationally, they mention these 10 top skills, and as you see, basically, first 3 are all in the tech realm. So AI, big data, network, cybersecurity goes hand in hand, technological literacy in broadest sense. But then you start getting things that are probably more interesting. And of course, the part that I have not seen many academic papers yet on entrepreneurship, but if there is, again, one thing that all AI, researchers or visionaries agree with is that we are entering the entrepreneurship era. Because right now the cost and time of, trying a prototype, launching a business has reduced so much that if you know what you're doing, if you know what's needed, you can be a one-man show. You can be your own marketing manager, your own lawyer, your own logistics specialist. You can all do that. That was not possible even 3 or 4 years ago. So I think this is wonderful, and thus we really need creative thinking, and that's one of the top skills on the same level as AI. And that's not me who's creating this. We need resilience, flexibility. and even working with big companies and big CEOs, the self-management skill is one of the top skills. People are living in great times of uncertainty. They're stressed out, meaning the burnouts and the mental health is affected, tremendously. So even for a big company or CEOs or mid-level managers, the capability of being able to manage oneself or kind of thing, get their shit together, I'm sorry, sometimes is very, very important, because when they fall, essentially oftentimes a lot falls. Curiosity, lifelong learning, again, whom am I telling this? Learnability, it's a skill itself. It's like a muscle. It's the same thing that should be as a gym. You should go to gym 2-3 times a week. Why don't people think about learning the same way? Leadership, social influence, moral for bigger companies, talent management. You still need to deal with people, analytical thinking and critical thinking, environmental stewardship. That's in line of EU legislation and general consciousness these days. Let me show you what the reality looks though, and in schools from Latvia. How many minutes I have? I started 23, 2, 1. Sorry. So let me show you what actually looks reality from one European country, which is Latvia. As I told, essentially. Kids have no clue what happens in the labor market. No clue. They don't know the composition of economics and this. We have asked for second year in a row to 15 to 19-year-olds, so all high school, big sample, more than 5,000 kids, I think, responded this. We asked them where they see themselves working when they're gonna be 30. I'm not asking 21, 30. So that's kind of, you might have family already, you're full-blown adult, And then, okay, the first one, medicine, health, meaning post-COVID, we saw a big jump. That's nice. Let's keep it that way. But the second one is art, music, design, creative industries. And then the fourth one is sports. So they could choose several ones, but nevertheless, if you just think about it, majority of them, or a big part of them, think that they will be creatives, which is around 3% of economics right now, a bit more for labor, or sports, that is like 0.8% of labor and even less from economics. So this does not, guys, match in any way. So and we see that, kind of it's crazy and it's very unfortunate. We see that sports, beauty, personal care, and creative industries are way overvalued, and we see industries like manufacturing, transport, logistics, timber very undervalued. Somewhere in balance, but I think not in respect to the future, because energy is going to be huge sector. So is construction with the housing crisis, and agriculture, but it will need to eat. So essentially, we see this huge gap. So what we decided to do, and sorry I'm over the time, I'll show you this. It's in Latvian, I'm sorry, but I'll tell you what it is. We essentially created a free platform for kids that allows them to fill out the basic Holland code or RISE code. If you have heard, it's like state employment agencies use it for unemployed people. It marks their interest, they're better with hands, they're better in social sphere, they're more entrepreneurial. But essentially, kids fill out 60 questions, very simple, asking, do you like to, IKEA furniture fixes, or do you like, working with something, and so on and so forth. It gives you the profile according to Holland code, and then the big thing, it gives you the list of actual jobs that exist in Latvia. So we are scraping job ads now for 3 years, all platforms, and here it says, for example, entrepreneurial developers. So 417 in Latvia in a year, job ads, very highly paid, mostly in Riga. Here you can see big other geographies. Go down. Here are the actual companies that are looking for that kind of talent. Here are, as per ESCO, the biggest skill groups that the job ads of this kind are asking for, and green skills. But here's also most mentioned keywords in the job ads. Again, the aim was super simple. We want them to understand that no one's looking for a YouTuber, no one's looking for too many creative people. It's a separate field, of course. Job ads are not good for this kind of professions anyhow. But here you can also type by profession, pharmacy, pharmaceut, and then the salary is a bit less. Again, what's the geography, and then who's looking for those, and what kind of skills are required. So of course this one does not include entrepreneurship, which, as I said, is something that I myself am a big believer. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I have my own company, and something that essentially all AI researchers and visionaries talk about. But at least it gives some understanding to youth as for which fields of economics are actually functioning and looking for employees in order for them not to continue living in dreams that will never come true. Thank you. I'm way over my time. Sorry.
That's fine. It was interesting. It was good. Don't put the microphone down yet. We have a few minutes for a couple of questions. So if anybody has any questions, yes, there we go. There's a raised hand over there. So if you figure anything out, go ahead and ask it away.
Hello, Zane. Can you hear me? Yeah, super impressive. I just have a quick question. Anyway, because the top industries, what you showed, it's really mind-blowing. But do you have a desegregation in terms of type of schools? Like if you see, like, depending on the type of schools the students are studying, which are the different industries, what they prefer? It's just
we in the first survey we did, we had 6,000 out of 65,000, so roughly 10%, a bit less, answered this. The last one filled out around 5,000, so smaller sample. We do have also, we use the platform Indurio, it's Latvian, they account by school essentially, so we know exactly which school answer which. But if you go down on that level, then it becomes non-representative. So basically we could do it, but we kind of chose not to, because overall the sample is huge, so it's totally okay to tell what Latvian high schoolers think or don't think, but then you cannot make too many judgments about, on the school level or even the region level. Let's see, with the time we might look into a bit more, but we kind of discussed this and decided the first year that we will not go that direction. Yes. Yeah, but I agree, it would be interesting.
Hi, really interesting discussion. I'm from Malta. Mm-hmm. And Malta's a country that's 316 square kilometers with no natural resources apart from stone, and basically no unemployment.
Yeah.
When you think of our industries, tourism, marine services, etc., etc., we are seeing same problem with students, retaining them, to go on to further education, but also educating them enough so that they are strategic when it comes to making choices at pivotal stages. But I in Malta, educators were still battling an archaic education system. But I work in an international school where we have introduced the International Baccalaureate Career-Related Programme, which marries vocational subject, and actually we do entrepreneurship, and academic subjects. It's a fantastic opportunity, the International Baccalaureate. But what we have done is embedded the JA Company Programme into our entrepreneurial offering. Okay, we're a school that are able to do that as it happens. But back to the government issue and back to enabling students to become cognitive enough or cognizant enough to make strategic decisions, and it needs to be something that they like as well. We can't say this industry is failing, so go into this one because. so our push at the moment with the National Skills Council in Malta and JA Malta has been instrumental in having the education department pivot towards this kind of curriculum, this kind of learning. But here's something we mentioned about entrepreneurial learning. And what happens with the JA program, talking about Malta here, is when it comes to an end after 6-7 months and the students have to fold their company, what the Maltese government have done this year is they've introduced a program called Entrepreneurial 16+, which allows those high school students that have gone through the JA program and have scalable, replicable companies. They've changed the law. So now, it's called Entrepreneurial 16+, 16 to 18-year-olds can legally register a business and be mentored by business people, and also they've provided a platform so the online, all the paperwork, the accountancy, etc. can be streamlined. So maybe this is a wider discussion for JA education department, moving forward. So
thank you so much.
That's a big example from a very small country. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing up.
Okay, thank you, Zane, for giving the insights. Let's keep all of those in mind as we go forward today. A round of applause for Zane, right? Zane Čulkstēna shared a little bit about the future of the job market. And we were talking about disruptions because of technology, and one of the technologies that is already here is obviously social media. So we need to do one thing with the group that we have here. We have to say, welcome to Gen E 2026. Can we do that for Misha? He's a wonderful guy. He's going to be with us for all 3 days. Are you ready? Yeah, come on. I'm going to sit down with you. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Gen E 2026! You see, he's happy. And if he's happy, all of us are happy. And we can proceed forward with our agenda. So our next speaker knows better than anyone about most of the questions relating to the intellectual property rights, especially in the classroom, right? And it is actually a powerful tool for teaching creativity, ownership, and entrepreneurial thinking. So please welcome an intellectual property specialist from the European Union Intellectual Property Office, EUIPO. We're going to be mentioning that name quite a few times, and it's Livia Ionascu.
Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure for me to be here with so many of you who are shaping our everyday life, our futures through the students you are teaching. So it's a great pleasure for me to be here. And I promise it's not a competition, but Salvatore started it. I have both parents as professors, so I'm... And I work in education. I manage IP in education project at the EUIPO. So I don't know if this is a thing, but apparently yes. So I would like to... I think we need to change the presentation. Okay, great. So, thank you. I would like to start with a question for you, and that would be, what is the most valuable thing a student business owns? Think about it. I would prefer someone else from the public, but yes, we can take different ideas. I mean, sorry? Attitude. Can be, I never thought about it, but maybe some of you could think about the product, about their list of clients, their technology, right? The website. So yeah, we can think about many aspects, but in my opinion, everything starts from the idea. So you have an amazing role of helping these students, of transforming their ideas into something with impact. And And so everybody or the majority is thinking about IP as something very legal, right? Probably the first thing you are thinking about it is a lawyer in a suit. But I would like to forget this image today and think about IP as entrepreneurial competence. So through entrepreneurship, we are creating value, we are protecting value, and we share value responsibly. And this is also what intellectual property is teaching. But I would like to ask you also, how many of you are including IP in their classroom or in your entrepreneurship education? Congratulations. Very happy to see that some of you have already included it. So, why I'm addressing IP as an entrepreneurial competence? Because once the students learn about IP, obviously they will be more confident creators, they will be more innovative, they will collaborate better, they will learn to respect the creativity of others, they will become obviously better entrepreneurs. And also, you should include IP and why IP matters, because obviously it improves the value of their brand, it attracts more investors through protecting the security and exclusivity for their creations. They are getting a competitive advantage in this creative economy. They are protecting against infringement and ensuring legal protection. So I would like to give you a few facts that maybe would be interesting for you to know in order to understand how IP impacts. Its contribution is the 6.4 trillion is the value of IPR intensive industry. At the UIPO, we have studied many of these aspects, obviously, so I'm sharing with you some basic information that can be give you an understanding of the impact. But also the perception of the youngsters or the citizens regarding IP. And as you can see, there are 13% of EU citizens that bought counterfeited products intentionally. 14% of EU citizens that access content from illegal sources, and European youth which intentionally bought fakes online. And why I'm saying this? Because you have to think also about the other aspect, the aspect of infringement, and how that a simple infringement and a simple copy maybe of a student company or a young company can impact that on its future. And 119 billion imports of counterfeiting and pirated products enter the European Union. And this represents almost 6% of the imports in the EU, which are fakes. But I presented to you the impact of IP, but also why we are talking about this, because you have to make them aware also of the negative impact and how that can impact the future of their company. So small businesses whose IP is infringed are 34% less likely to survive than businesses whose rights are respected. So think about a student company or a young company that created their innovative product, that created their website, that worked night and day, and simply they start to become copied, and little by little, what is the impact? They start to lose investment, they reduce the budget allocated to research, it hires few people, and then little by little it can simply disappear. So that's why when you teach now in your classroom, I think the most important 3 questions that you should ask them is, what is it original, what belongs to someone else, and what should be protected. So at least with these 3 questions, they can start becoming more confident entrepreneurs. And also where to start considering the IP. Obviously, they start with the idea, they continue with the prototype, they create the brand, you have to prepare them for the pitch, and so on. They start to sell, and obviously they scale up. So everything has to start from day one, from the idea. That protects them more in the future when they have to think of all the stages that they come. So I know that there is a misconception. When you think about IP, the majority of people think that IP is only patents. That's the majority of replies I get. But obviously, I just wanted to give you a very short overview. I'm not going to enter into a whole lecture about IP rights, but obviously, a student company will probably never register an IP patent. So the majority of them, they will have designs, they will have obviously the trademarks, they will probably use trade secrets. So I think they need to be aware of the basic knowledge of what each IP right protects, because there is also a big confusion of what exactly copyright protects in the young generation, what the trademarks protect, what designs and secrets cover. So I think it's important for them to have this basic knowledge on the IP rights, for them to be empowered, and after that to decide how to proceed on their IP strategy. But obviously AI changed everything, so I guess this is the biggest challenge that you are facing now in the classroom. How many of you are using AI tools, applications in the classroom? Obviously. So, and obviously your students are all of them using AI tools, so that's not the question anymore. The question is how you are addressing these challenges, and especially the challenges related with IP in this new environment of AI. So basically what you need to address now is, how do students use AI responsibly? Because it's already a fact in the classroom. Can they be transparent on how they used the tools? What is the input that they have used? But also, the most important thing is to discuss the authorship and ownership of what they produce through AI. And also, I think it's quite important how they can still remain creative in that environment, because it's a given that they are going to use the AI. So your role, and I think the important questions that you need to help them address is like how to encourage still the originality, how to celebrate the creativity, and as I said, very important to discuss ownership of the creation using AI, and to teach attribution and how to respect the rights, the IP rights of others, because using the AI tools, they obviously can infringe others' rights through the use of the tools. So I'm going to get there to what materials we can provide you and support you in your classroom in order to address these things. So we will get there. But obviously, why I'm coming back to the idea of why IP is important, because through it we promote the creativity, entrepreneurship, innovation, and digital engagement. And as I promised, I'm going to make reference and to provide you the tools that I think they are useful and the materials that you should consider when preparing your class and when addressing them on IP. So I would start with the Digital Education Action Plan that probably all of you are aware of. But in that framework, I think it's important for you to be familiarized with the AI literacy framework that has been recently launched with digital education content in EU, and you have specific guidelines for you, for teachers, on how to use the digital content in your classroom. This is on a more general support for your activities, and in concrete, the UIPO, we can provide you some materials and resources that they are developed by the UIPO experts, but also they are available in all EU languages. This is maybe an aspect that it's important for you, because they also address teachers and educators at different levels of education, and they are ideas and ready-to-use materials that you could use in the classroom. Also resources that we have developed in collaboration with other partners around Europe that also can be found on our page. And maybe very useful is the massive open online course. There are different modules of this module. It's useful for you to prepare yourself on the basic knowledge of IP. It's more easily digestible. It's also in a language to be used by students, so it can be used by both you and the students. And we have a particular one on entrepreneurship and IP that I think it could be very relevant for you. In addition to that, we have many materials that can be connected, that can be relevant, because as I said, I think at this level of creating the company, at this level, they are not going to use probably patents yet, but they need to know the other IP rights. So in this case, we have frequently asked questions, we have the generative AI and copyright aspects that I think it would be very interesting, but also we have frequently asked questions on copyright for you and for the students. The good thing about this is that you can select your country and you can access the right information on the legislation in your own country, because as we know, copyright it's different in each member state. And finally, on entrepreneurship, we have particular infographics on how to build a brand, on ethics of AI in the classroom in order to help them, support them on using AI responsibly, and the entrepreneurship lesson kit, who is designed for secondary and vocational education to promote entrepreneurship. So, everything now, you will be able to find it in the future at the UIPO learning portal. So selecting your topic or your IP right of interest, you can get different levels of knowledge on that. So all these materials that I have presented to you, they are available on the Academy learning portal at the UIPO. And now we have also something more entertaining. We would like to have a quiz session through Kahoot, but I would like your interest, because the first 3 winners will get a little goodie bags from us. So please take out your phones. Oh, no, not yet, not yet. Back.
Close your eyes.
Okay, so let's restart.
Is there the weird Kahoot music as well in the background?
Yeah. How many? We have 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're getting there. I think you're around 40.
I love the
here in
educators session. Everybody's participating. This is this is unforeseen.
We should get more or less to 40. I counted in the room, so we are missing around 10 people. Okay, we're getting there. It's easy, don't worry. Come on, let's get to 30 at least. If not, we can. Two more. One more. Yes, I think we can start. Yeah, it's there. What protects a company name? You know that this is about speed as well, okay? So be ready. Patent, trademark, copyright, design. Wow, you are fast. Good. I think we got them all. That was an easy one. That doesn't matter. Next. When should students think about IP? That we already said it, so that should be even faster. After launching, after funding, after winning Jenny, from day one. Okay, done. From day one, obviously. I'm curious, the other two, copyright protects original photos, the shape of a product, patents, none of them. One more. Ooh, now we have a bit of diversity. So, okay, we went too fast, but obviously copyright protects original works. AI-generated content is always automatically owned by the user. That requires a bit of thinking. It's a simple one, true or false. Oh, we almost got the majority got it right. So AI, I think we are going very fast. Okay, which IP protects the appearance of a product? That should be simple as well. Patent, trademark, copyright, design. Wait, we still have. Design, obviously, the majority of you got it right. The design protects the appearance of a product, the shape. The majority protects the shape. So, patents protect the innovation. Trademark protects the name of the company, and it can consist of different signs. And copyright, as we saw, protects the original works. Next. Which is an example of a trade secret. Company logo, secret receipt, packaging, and website. Trade secret. I know that it's not a very common, but that should be easy also for you. Yes, only 3, but the rest got it right. A secret receipt. Obviously, you know what is the most famous trade secret? Okay. Next. We have 2 more. Can students freely use an image found on Google?
I immediately get a question, is that an image that was found on Google?
That should be something that you probably encounter quite often in your work. And still we had 5 people, so the majority got it right, obviously, if they use some... Yes?
Can I have a question here? Because if they indicate where is the image coming from, so the source?
They need to indicate the owner, the author of that photo. Of course, they can use it, but if they have to indicate the author of that photo. Yes. Let's continue with the last question. The added value of IP is. I guess we all know it by now. Competitive advantage, attracting investors, potential added value, all of the above. That was also an easy one, but obviously we know what are the added value of IP by now. And I think we arrived at the last question, right? And we would like to see who are the 3 winners, the podium. NT, who's NT? Wow, woohoo! VIP? Woo! VIP, Danny and NT. Well, my colleague, yes, please come.
Goodie bags for the winners from EU IPO for doing so great on the quiz. Okay, in the meantime, the rest of us can think about any questions that we might have to Livia about IPO, about protections, and about anything in between. So we have time for a couple of questions. Any questions towards Livia? There we go. On the first row, we have a question.
Hello everyone, I'm Dana Fili from GA Europe. First of all, thank you so much. This was so easy to understand, and this is exactly why we are partnering with EU IPO to try to bring this content to you. We heard and we learned so much. If we are able to protect our student companies, we will get much further ahead and more competitive in Europe. So we are partnering with EU IPO. We curated materials and we are preparing for the company program. Several students and teachers have already testing, and we want to see how we can really make it available for more. So thank you so much. Livia, for joining and
no.
for partnering with us.
Thank you to you, and congratulations for what you are doing, and congratulations also to you for supporting these great minds and young minds. I think it's amazing what do you do, so congratulations and thank you.
We have more questions?
We have questions.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Sorry, just very briefly. You mostly talked about how students respect copyrights and IP, but I'm missing a little bit, how can we help the students to protect their ideas? I mean, I think you mentioned a few little things, but I think it's very hard and almost impossible to really protect the ideas of students because they have to present them, right?
That's exactly the point. I think it's very important, the question, because we don't protect the ideas. We don't protect the ideas. The idea creates an innovation. The idea creates a product. The idea creates an invention. The idea creates an original work. But you protect those. You protect the innovative product. You protect the... So we don't protect ideas. That's a very important message. So if we take a product, for example, you can apply different IP rights on one product. Okay, so let's take I don't know, a phone. I don't have the image that we usually use, but let's think what IP rights you can have in a phone. Yeah, but then the competitive advantage that you can have by protecting that, for example, here in Europe, and if your business goes abroad, you will have to protect it in other jurisdictions. If not, you don't have that competitive advantage. It doesn't matter that the other one will copy. The fact that you are protecting, it gives you the tools to protect yourself after that if someone copies you. That's the whole point. The IP is giving you the support and the legal tools in order to protect yourself after that. So that's why I have insisted in both aspects of IP at the beginning when I was showing you the benefits of IP, but I also wanted to show you the negative impact. And that's why we have to think about that part and make understand the students why they have to think, because it gives them the tools after that, and they are empowered to decide how they apply the IP protection or their IP strategy. So I think starting with IP in that sense, that's why it is important. It gives you the tools after that and supports you to protect and to fight infringements.
Okay, great. Thank you, Livia. Thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Okay, so
there you go. A round of applause. By the way, it's a fair question, and I think the simplest answer is because I noticed that there was a banner there, and I know that for every European country there would be a local office that would be exactly doing this, protecting copyrights. I work with music, so I'm very familiar with copyright, but it depends really on the product. For music, it's one thing. For photography, it could be a separate thing, and I would guess that for products, what we're going to be talking, or for services, it could be another thing entirely. But I know, because I've hosted an event for that part of the Latvian government as well, and they were pretty much asking, please call us, please let us know, we will try to help you. So probably back in your home countries you're going to find something similar as well. And I guess EU IPO is the overarching thing for all of it. Anyways, I can see that all of you had a little bit of time to sit on your phones, if only to look in your Kahoots. However, Gen E is really about making connections. At least that's what we're trying to kind of promote during the whole event. So, very simple request from my side. Stand up, please, if possible. And since we need to be communicating, and since we need to be making some connections here, I will be doing the god-awful thing, which is breaking up the groups and the cliques that you might have here. So whomever you arrived with here today is not going to be the person that you're going to be talking to for the next 5 minutes. However, we will be going in rounds of 90 seconds, and the idea is very simple. You have to run up to somebody in the room whom you have not spoken to before today, and you have to introduce yourself, meaning who are you, where are you from, what are you teaching as your main subject, and then you will have a very specific question for round one, which will be spend 90 seconds discussing amongst yourselves. Simple, right? Let's do this. Are you ready? Oh, come on. Are you ready? There we go. 3, 2, 1, 90 seconds, start. So you have to know the other person that you meet. Where are you from? What are you teaching? And the first question, the bigger one, is what are you hoping to get out of these days at Jenny? Seconds remaining to respond to the question, what are you hoping to get out of these days at Gen E? Okay, that's round number one. The problem is that we have 4 rounds, so you're going to have to be looking for somebody else for the next round. So, again, you have to find a new person. You have to introduce who are you, where are you from, what do you teach, and then the discussion topic is what do you love most about what junior achievement brings to the students. So the question is on the screen in case you want to look at it. So you have to find a new person. You have to find a new person. The couples have to be broken up. They have to be broken up. Okay, perfect. That was round number 2. By a show of hands, please tell me, are you ready for round number 3, or should we continue with the speakers? Do you want to go for one more round? Want to get to know another person? Yes, you definitely want to do it. What about you? What about you? What about you? Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do round number 3. You have to find a new person, 1.5 minutes, to introduce yourself, where you're from, what do you teach, and then discuss the question, what do you think inspires students to become entrepreneurs the most? But you have to find somebody new. You're standing there. You haven't broken up already for 2 rounds. I have my eye on you. You have to split up and find somebody new. Okay, that's it for the discussion rounds. If you want to continue these, you will have more time a little bit later. If you could find your seats back somewhere in the auditorium so that we can continue with our next speakers. And while you're finding your seats, let me do a quick introduction. So, our next speaker is somebody who is actually himself an alumni of the Junior Achievement Program, just like the students that you have arrived here with today this year. What happened next changed everything. He proves that what happens in the classroom really does reach the world. Please welcome Kristians Landsmanis, Junior Achievement alumni, entrepreneur, and just very recently, he has been named as the honoree of the Firds List 2026. But we will talk more about that in the grand opening. For now, Kristians Landsmanis.
111. Can you hear me? Yeah? Nice. Cool. Let's try this clicker thing. Okay, everything works. Awesome. Welcome to Riga. I'm actually from Latvia, but I'm not from Riga. I'm from countryside, Madona, but Riga has been my home for the past, I think, 7 or 6 years already. So hopefully the city is going to treat you well. Weather is unpredictable, and you know how Latvians, if you say some good thing to Latvian, if Latvian is happy, it's not like this. It's usually like, and then if Latvian is very, very happy, then it's like, very, very happy. But it's very rarely. Usually only happens when Latvian is getting married or celebrating summer solstice. So we have this Jāņa celebration where we cook meat, drink beer, and then all Latvians are very, very happy. But okay, let's start about me a little bit. Why I'm invited here to share my story is because I think example of how you start student company very, very early on in the first basically opportunity in high school, and then starting from there the snowball effect takes some advantage, and you end up building different companies, startups, raising money from venture capital funds from the United States and stuff like that. So happy to share that story with you. And what is more important about the story is that the key ingredient in the story is the teacher who helped me during high school to find this entrepreneurial spirit of me. So let's start with building some credibility so that you like I can a little bit tell why you should listen to me. Okay, so I started my first company at grade 10. I was not a very nice guy in grade 10. I was full of energy and acting out to teachers and doing all the nasty stuff that probably you have seen in a lot of students. But I was always this hardworking person who always had great grades. That's why teachers hated it even more, because they couldn't say, oh, but you're studying very bad, right? So, but the teacher that I'm going to tell you today about was the one that saw potential in me, and in grade 10 she showed, hey, let's maybe try and put your energy into building a company. In grade 10, I just realized what the junior achievement is. So how it is to become an entrepreneur, how it is to build something of your own, manufacture, because we were producing mind and body developing games. And basically it just right away made me very interested in business. Next step was grade 11. I had only one goal. I wanted to win in Latvian student company finals. I thought, hey, last year it was just like first idea, but I can do way better. I can win this because I can go to European finals. Because for me it was like really cool. Because imagine you are in high school, but you already go on a business trip. That's quite cool, right? Like usually you listen to, like everyone is going to business trips when they are older, but in high school you can already go to business trip. And where are you today, right? So to Jānis in Riga. And then actually it ended up pretty successful company. So we won in Latvia, we went to Berlin, it was back in 2015, and we got second place in Europe. What is even cooler thing I think about this is that actually that company is still operational, even after how many, it's like more than 10 years, right? So it's still a company that started in high school, and it's still, it's a small business, but still operating. And finally, today I'm the CEO and founder of AdsMom. How to say what AdsMom is? It's basically a technology startup that works in advertising technology world, where we collect a bunch of data, analyze it obviously with AI, right, and do a bunch of interesting things. So let's go further. So my story is that I see the both ends. So the company with whom I won the finals and went to Europe. was the company that produces garment bags, travel bags, you know, but they were special travel bags because they were meant for folk and dance costumes, because in Latvia we have these very, very long like folk and dance costumes, and they needed a special bag, like more, like with higher quality, more pockets, waterproof and stuff like that. So we realized, hey, there are 50,000 people that participate in these events, so let's sell to all of them. So we found a niche. It's still operating business, as I said, and now the business that I'm building at SMOM, it's completely different. There's nothing involved with physical product. There's only internet. There's only data. There's artificial intelligence. There's startup. There's no manufacturing. Nothing. So it's like it's so much different in a way, but at the same time, the business mentality is almost the same, and the idea of each business is very, very similar. And that's what I'm gonna, I think, end up at the end of this presentation. So yeah, what Junior Achievement gave me? I think the number one thing that showed me in this grade 10 that actually, if you invest your time into something, if you really want something, if you are honest to yourself and you just want to go to these trade fairs, build a company, try to sell something, you can actually do it. What you need to do, you need someone who is around you, who supports you. And second, you need this determination that, right, like something is not successful, then you try again, something is not successful, you try again, and you always move forward. And this is I think the biggest lesson from JA, because it showed me that everything is possible. Like if you really work towards something, like there's nothing that you can't do being in high school. And everything didn't start with the idea of building company. It didn't start, hey, we're gonna build this amazing garment bag company, or the same with the startup, we're gonna build this advertising intelligence machine or something like that. But it started with the people around me. So it's always, by the way, this is my now wife, but she was also in the first days of the student company. And today she's in the first days of my advertising company at SMOM. And the family, my wife, my parents, they were always there to say, hey, fly, we're going to support you, right? Do what you want to do. Just if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. They didn't push me. They didn't say anything. They just said, hey, if that's your goal, you do it. Second thing, teacher and team. So people around you, especially at high school age, are the ones that determine what you're going to do next. If you spend your time together with people whose only one goal is to party, it's really hard for you to get your full sort of like potential at that point, right? Which is good. Partying is also always needed because it's networking, and maybe you meet your future wife there or something. But at the same time, there's people around you who influence you to go towards your goals. And the third one, obviously, the friends that are around you, right? So who just say, hey, go on, push forward. What is my story today here? And I'm gonna try to until the end of my presentation, I'm going to try to back this with evidence. My number one goal that I want to share today is that you teachers matter more than you actually, I think, can imagine, because the things that you do for students, and you're not always getting these, hey, thank you for doing that, right? Not in every cases, but the impact that you give to the students, and I am true living example, is accumulating not right away after the high school. It's accumulating even after the university, even later in life, and there's big impact that each of you is giving and can give, and you are here the top of the top in Europe, right? So that's pretty cool, to be honest. This is my story where I told you that, hey, I was a bad student. I had a lot of energy. Majority of the teachers told me that I'm going to fail, I'm going to not finish school, even though I had great grades. If I continue like this, I'm going to be out next semester or something like that. But there's one teacher who just saw the opportunity, and that opportunity played vital role in my life and is playing until today. And the work that she did and what you are doing is the ultimate long-term game. Why I put this chart is because this is exactly that's where it started. So first JA company, grade 10. I was not a nice student, as I said many times, right? So I joined here, where I met teacher who said, hey, okay, put your energy somewhere else. I learned, hey, if I put my energy somewhere else, I can win some prizes, I can earn some money doing that. Well, pretty cool, right? Like if I put my energy there, I earn some money and do 1 + 1, right? Second company already go, hey, I want to build a company that wins. I want to go to European finals. It's like pretty cool to have a business trip. Then second in Europe. Still biggest achievement in Latvia's history. Hopefully this year maybe it changed, but who knows. And then, building business, again, it's not always easy to start, even after the student program, even after you get the second place in the Europe, like there's so many things and issues that you need to solve, what you need to do. But then after that, you just move forward, right? So I got accepted into top business school in the Baltics, Stockholm School of Economics in Riga. So then after that, I co-founded AtsMo, which I'm working here today. We raised just recently pre-seed round of 600,000 euros. So it's just like all these experiences, they started from ground zero, where there was someone who supported me with this first step, with the interest of doing something, of the interest of building something, of the interest of hey, there is potential in life that you can get out of this. If you a little bit change your attitude, or you a little bit change what you want to achieve. And this is kind of my message to you, that it's not only about one person in that room, in this sense me. It's about all the impact that these persons are making in the future. Like, for example, here, this was right after European finals. We were speaking in front of the entire, I think it was Forum Cinemas, like huge auditorium of 700 students. So we were in front of them speaking, sharing our story. So, which started from me being a bad guy with teacher who said, go ahead and build company, ended up in front of there. Then we winning pitch competitions with my new startup AtsMo. Then going to, here I'm in US investors event in Tbilisi in Georgia, pitching our idea. So all these learnings that I got because of this JA program, because of this push from the teacher, all accumulates together. And you know what's the best thing? Not only that you step on those stages and share your vision, but that after these meetings, and especially like in these junior achievement events, you tell about your experience, you tell about how it started, you tell that there is ugly part of business, there is ugly part of really hard work that like you not always see the end of it, right? You not always see, hey, like, I'm gonna be rich, like I'm here and then I'm rich. No, there's like so many things between that is like very tough, where often people just don't understand. And if you're sharing those events, like there are these people that come to you, students come to you saying, hey, thank you, we needed to hear this, we needed to hear what you're saying to continue pushing your company forward. And this is the lasting impact that someone had on me, which I directly translate to someone else, which someone else translate directly afterwards. And that's I think what JA is all about. It's about lasting impact. And exactly like the story correlates with from the classroom in Maduon and countryside in school where there is not like many people to working with world-class brands, to building startup and doing a bunch of different things, and still opportunity to do more and more and more of those is everything started from curiosity in entrepreneurship that started in high school, that started with JA program. And this is, I think, maybe something that I want to emphasize enough, that the impact that you are making on those people, on those students, it's not always valued at that point, but afterwards, like I can tell you, even if those students don't tell you, hey, like you made a big impact, like there's like clearly visible impact of what you made. So that's kudos to you, what you're doing, and that was my key story, because there was this teacher that, Ieva Siliņa, by the way, that helped me, that found me, that just with this small push, it accelerated quite a lot. So yeah, and this is my story that I told initially, that student company is not that different from real business, from like startup, from like, it's like, I think this is the beauty that so many people don't understand. It's not like student company you do this and then startup you do completely different. No, like in essence, it's like exactly the same stuff. You deal with your team the same as in student company. You probably have heard so many issues in teams, right? Like, oh, he's not working enough, I'm doing all the work, but he's also like participating everywhere, right? Standards in startups, standard in regular business, everywhere. Manufacturing something, or like building startup. Oh, the guy can't program some feature quickly enough. Just daily thing of me, right? Someone is not sending you materials to finish your new product. Like with my bag business, oh my God, how many times I have dealt with that. And exactly as in student company. So I think this is the beauty of this learning that it's exactly the same as you're going to experience in the future, right? The students going to experience the same building like proper companies later on, like startups, regular businesses. It doesn't matter, but it's going to be, for them, it's going to be, oh, another one, you know? If it fails, okay, go to another one. And this is just, I think, amazing stuff that all of us can get. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully I get some inspiration, something to think about. Thank you, teachers, for being there, and you are already best in Europe. That's pretty amazing, I think. And yeah, if you want to connect with me, I'm usually on quite active on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.
Thank you. That was Christian. So that's basically the outcome of potentially of the students that you've brought here this year. Anyways, do we have any questions for Christian that we want to ask him? Everything was super clear. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, there we go. There we go. We've got one.
Any advice for teacher? Any advice? What me as a teacher can do better training students to be part of my program, because I feel I have most trouble with students.
I think it's very hard to, if you are the only one in the students' network or like in inner circle that tries to push them forward, that's very hard, because I think especially teenagers, I remember myself, if you tell me white, I'm gonna tell black. If you tell me go, I'm gonna say no, I stop, right? Like I don't do anything. And you have this like just this inner sort of like thing to argue, to prove you're sort of like right. And it's always very hard to try and argue with such a person, right? So that's why if the person hears from a lot of people around him, like family, friends, classmates, other teachers, I think it's much easier for you to work later on with it. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because I think like always the first thing, oh, it's gonna be so hard. I have like exams coming, like buildings, company. I don't even have an idea. Oh my God, like what I'm gonna do, right? And this is totally fair point, right? Because it is not like super easy part to do like during studies, right? But at the same time, I think some of the students think of this as like really scary thing that like they can't do simply. And I think they need this persuasion or this like showing of that, hey, it's not that crazy. Like there are 7 million young people going through JA program. So like it's like if they can finish school together with this, like it's so much, like you can do it 100%. You can do it, and you don't need to build a business that's gonna like last for the 10 or 15 years. You just need to learn of how to do it, and then if you learn it after you graduate from high school, you don't need to do like internship somewhere which you clearly know. For example, like I don't know, you hate marketing. Like you realize in student company that you hate marketing, so why would you go and study marketing then, right? So I think this JA program not only gives you this opportunity to think about business as such, but think about, okay, where do I want to end up like in the future? And I think this is the maybe missing link to students, because I know my brother's younger than me, so he had this idea that, okay, when I'm going to be in grade 10, I'm going to right away understand what I want to do in life, right? What I try to persuade him to do is to go and try different things. Like JA is one perfect example where you can like experience so many different angles of life, like marketing, production, sales, team management, like scheduling, blah blah, like everything of that in one program for free. Like come on, it's just amazing part. And that's why I think persuading that it's not something crazy. Everyone can do it. You just need to go and like, yes, it's going to be extra hours, but you can do it. I think making it really simple to sort of understand and showing those great examples. For me, it worked that, hey, this student company from Maduana 2 years ago went to London's European finals. And for me, it was like, come on, I also want to go. Like it sounds really cool, like a business trip in high school, cool. And that was like total game changer for me to try it.
Good stuff. Thank you, Christian Sansons. We'll be meeting you again in a few hours, right, in the opening ceremony. But for now we're going hands-on from this moment forward. So now I'm going to be handing you over to somebody who is a researcher, an innovator, and someone who has taken design thinking to Berkeley and back here as well. So we have a junior achievement alumni who has also been a participant of Gen E. So hence I am welcoming here to the stage Professor Elina Mitelsone. All the introductions, and let's go for it. Stage is yours.
So do I need the microphone or not? No, great. So hello honorable ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elina Mitelsone, and today we will try to do ideal fitness. So and from this ideal fitness we will gain also some practical methods that you can take home and maybe share with your students and get that excitement to get them in the program itself, because if this ID will be exciting, the students will jump in, but to find the right ID. We need microphone? Oh, sorry.
We do, we have
Okay, so, and how to ride the wave of innovation. So let's go through some suggestions. Yes, this is just a short explanation who I am. The shortest version, I'm addicted to innovations and idea management. All my life is connected with that. And longer version, that I live in the universe of ideas and innovations. All fields are related with that. Academically, I'm professor at Riga Technical University, and yes, indeed, 5 days ago I came back from Berkeley. I had this wonderful Fulbright experience with Henry Chesbrook himself, the Open Innovation Father. He was my sponsor for that, and we did some research together, and now just the real research is continuing. And I'm also managing a RTU design factory. It means I'm responsible in our university about all 14,000 students and their innovations. So it is the same junior achievement, but in university level where they are creating these crazy ideas, and we are proud about our students. We have even the students that have reached several European records, for example, with rockets. Yes, and those ideas are crazy what they are doing, and sometimes we need help with them. And lecturer, I'm in 5 universities, and all my hobbies, of course, are related with ideas and innovations. And where does innovation start? So sometimes I hear this like saying, Elina, there are more important things to think about, not innovations. There are economical problems, political problems, social problems, why we need innovations. Oh, if you can mention so many problems, then we need innovation. That is the right time. Because when you say that something in some areas is not fine, it means that there is area for innovations and improvements. And it is very logical. When we are in a bad situation, what we are creating here on the lowest point helps us to make the jump. So if something is bad in that specific area, we need to innovate, to make improvement. Boom. So next time when somebody says, oh, your subject is not important, other things are more important. No, your subject and creation of new things, businesses and ideas, that is the most important thing for their growth, so we can live the better world. And sometimes students say, oh, I have this my first company. Everything is fine. Why I need now again to think about innovations or new ideas? Oh, you are smart, you know why. Because maybe they have found a golden nugget and they are growing with their business and everything is like fantastic. They could go to Hawaii and enjoy their lives. But if they will not innovate, if they will not find the next level, what will happen? Boom, down. So when it is fine and everything goes smoothly, that is again the perfect moment for the next great ideas. And that is your job, to show that for them and to explore the next and next waves of innovation so they could survive a longer time period, not only one student company, but maybe, as mentioned previous speaker, 10 years after student company. But then you need really to find the next levels of your businesses. And with ideas, you need to be very careful. And I remember one of my first international conferences where I participated with my topic idea management. After that, I get the call from one of the very highly ranked professors, and he said, Elina, idea management doesn't exist. And I was like, how? I'm researching that, and you are mentioning that it doesn't exist. So, and he shared a story about beekeeper and a wise man, that the beekeeper is going to the wise man to get ideas how to get more honey out of bees. And wise man says, oh, I have the idea, please go and implement this idea. The beekeeper takes this idea, go back, and after 1 week, he comes back to the wise man and says, oh, half of my bees are dead. Wise man says, oh, no problems. Here comes the second idea. Go and implement that. He goes and comes back after 1 week. And now he says, oh, I have no bees anymore. And the wise man says, oh, so sad. I had so many great ideas for you. So, and this story shows what is the difference between idea generation and idea management. Because idea management means that we will explore for this one problem, for example, how my bees could give more honey, a lot of ideas. And then we will select the most appropriate for us. Not just for asking for one wise man which idea is the best and implement that. Maybe in our situation it is not the best idea at all. So, and I think that you are those who should show these many possible ideas, so they could find really something that they will be passionate about. And then they will be in these programs forever, like me, from 2004, I think. Oh my God, it was so long ago. Oh, nice. More to see on the screen, the test. So don't worry, this test will be only 10 seconds. Do you have some kind of paper sheets and writing tools or not? If not, it is okay. You can open the blank page in your minds, and you can do that in that mode as well. If you have the writing tool and page, then it will be even more comfortable. Okay, I hope that you are ready, but don't worry if you don't. You will open the blank pages in your minds, okay? So, okay, I think that you are ready. So, and now your task, for those who have the paper sheet and pen, you can just copy paste the straight line, the wavy line to your page and continue the drawing. For those who don't have any kind of writing tools and you are doing that digitally, mentally, then just imagine how in your minds you are continuing this drawing. You have 10 seconds to continue. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test is over. Let's see results. What kind of muscles you have trained for innovations. So, if when I said, please continue the drawing, you continue the drawing with a wavy line, it could show that your strength is in idea evaluation and idea implementation part. So thank you that you exist. Without such kind of persons like you, nothing would ever exist. So, if you continue the drawing, when I said continue, with absolutely new symbols like ducks or trees, like a new picture comes in the game, it could show that your strength is in idea generation part. Somebody is saying, oh, I have the problem, and you are saying, no. How many ideas do you need? Do you need 100 ideas, 1,000 ideas? And you have not only many ideas, but many great ideas. And for those tricksters that have still the question, which type I am, then you are maybe the number 3. They are continuing the drawing somehow differently. Sometimes they are doubling, making the doubling effect, playing only with a straight line. They are continuing the line, but ending like a snail at the end, or there's wavy line plus, raising sun, dropping ships. So they are combining everything and finding the ways how to do the task in many different kind of ways. Yes, these persons could generate great ideas, evaluate them as well, very great, but the skill, that is like super skill for these personas, management of innovations. Yes, and why I gave this test, not because 10 seconds will show your full potential for innovations, don't believe in such kind of tests. Those are only for self-evaluation and some kind of reflections. I gave this test only with one very important thing to remember and remind the students as well, that the best team is not always one type personas in the team. Because sometimes we would think, okay, we need innovative student company. Let's put all the crazy students in one team with those amazing ideas. Yes. Also, 15 years ago in scientific literature, there was dominating assumption when we need innovations that we will put all the creative minded persons in one group. Let's give them money, let's give them the time, and magic will happen. Very great theory, I love it, but in reality, that theory was not confirmed. And then later they looked at the innovative companies. And what they spotted, they couldn't spot any kind of parities. Those were so different teams in all those innovative companies. And that was the parity, that the most innovative companies are very diverse ones. And so, what is a brilliant team? When we have the manager who spots the brilliant problem, brilliant opportunity, those who know the personas in the classroom or outside, then we have in a team the persona that could generate thousands of possibilities how to solve the problem or that challenge. And at the end of the game, we have someone who could choose the right idea and implement that. And then the magic happens. My first student company I think, majority of the team was from the first time. We just created some kind of these present materials for the companies. Nothing innovative. We succeeded, we went to the national finals, but it was nothing like very exciting. Later, my next student company was really diverse ones. So it was like crazy from management perspective, but from end results, we get till the Europe finals. So, and it was, I think, excellent because our product was creative. I will not say innovative. Why? Because we sold empty matchboxes. But somehow we got to the European finals, so there is creativity in that, if you can sell empty matchboxes. So, now you can also remind for the students that they are all with some kind of skills for innovations, because sometimes students also in my classroom, they are saying, I'm not innovator. They are lying. They are innovators, they have some kind of super skills and other super skills they can train. And also when they are creating the groups, they don't need the same as them in the group. They need someone that maybe they are hating in a classroom, and that will bring them the success. So that is good news that we are all capable to contribute innovations. And now, how to ride that innovation wave. There will be 5 tips and 5 also practical methods that you can bring home to your classrooms. So this is just a short insight where we will go through, and let's start with the first tip. Yes, you just need a scoop, a small drop of the sea of opportunities, because there are so many opportunities for innovations. It is not only from perspective from some kind of financial support. There's a lot of that if you start to Google, but also from the idea perspective. And there is, I think, brilliant method from idea management side. Idea management side, it is like challenge the borders with the trends. So this is the first gift that I give to you, the wheel of borders that you and your students could challenge to find even more intriguing ideas. And it is just, you can name some very, very simple tasks. Like I give always a task for my students, let's reinvent the lollipop in the first class. And then later they are reinventing their own things with these methods, with their own problems and so on. Because lollipop is like just a stick, just a candy with a sugar and some kind of packing. What to innovate there? There's not a lot of things. So that's the reason why I choose that as an element. And also I think now we could try that, because one thing is just I'm mentioning, there is method. You can take it home and then you are like, what it is, how to apply it. Let's try this for 1 minute. So our task is to save our lollipop company. congratulations, yes, you are board members of Lollipop production company now, and we need to reinvent lollipops, just a simple Chupa Chups. Like there is something that you are holding your lollipop, there is this candy and some wrapping around the candy itself. And now you can scan this QR code and you can roll this wheel and you can get some kind of suggestion where to get those IDs. I will try that as well. I hope that it's working. Boom. Oh, it's working. Sometimes they are missing. So now you have these wheels, and all these suggestions comes from scientific articles where some kind of companies, organizations have spotted brilliant innovations. So, help customers to save. How we can help our customers to save with lollipops? Do you have any kind of ideas? How to help customers to save with our lollipops? Maybe you can collect 10 sticks of lollipops and then number 11 will be for free. Oh, I know, it's a lame idea, but at least it will be the first idea. So maybe someone is ready to share, because what I didn't mention, for the first ID share, I will give the Lab. Lab is a mascot of innovations in our university. It's like Innovation Oscar. And when we are starting to generate IDs, we are giving this small labs. And when you are starting to implement these methods in your classrooms or your students are winning something, you can contact me and I will give you bigger labs. Because you will see how innovations are growing. So the first ID share will get the lab. So new lollipops, how to help clients to save with lollipops. Yes.
Partnering with a company. So first of all, finding a company who would partner with us, with me, and then to set up a sort of voucher model. So anyone who brings back the lollipop, which could be also an incentive, like how green it is, how and then you get you bring back the stick, and then you get a voucher.
Boom! You see what kind of board members we have in our company. Excellent. Thank you. The first lab goes here. And if you have the time, you can keep it. And you can find Lab's brother, because Lab's brother is 2.5 meters high, 3D concrete printed sculpture in campus of Riga Tech University. And it is the biggest 3D concrete printed sculpture in Baltics. That is Lab's brother. You will notice him. Just go to the RTU campus and you will see him. He has two brothers, yes. The other one is smaller one. Boom! Yes, you will go there and you will see, at least from the street, the back of Lab's brother. And there's also the oldest brother is standing one, but he is smaller. He is only 2 meters high. So the Lab's real brother is 2.5 meters. So this is a very simple method. You can really give very simple task, problem, question, or also existing product. And students could spin the wheel. They get some kind of suggestion where to think, and it could help to find some more tasty ideas. And I have tried this with a lot of companies, and it works not only with existing products. I just give the first insight for the students that they are working with, or some kind of real thing like lollipop that everybody knows. But later we are using let's define the problems, and students have in the team these problems, and we are spinning the wheel, and based on these suggestions they try to solve the problems. So it is called holistically used method. There are no limitations for this one. So this is just the first gift, but as I mentioned, we have created this based on scientific articles. It is based mainly on the trend watching mode, but you can make your own trend watching wheels. Maybe you want them to create deep techs or something like edtechs green tech. There are so many words of these new types of companies. Then you can spot some kind of trend reports, forecasting reports, and put those trends on the wheel. And then you will push your students to the side where you want them to live, in the ed tech, deep tech, green tech, blue tech, and so on. So please free to experiment with all these methods. There comes the magic. Do you have the questions about this method? No, simple, very simple. All these methods will be very simple, but they work. And we use these methods also with real companies. Just yesterday, I used this method with Treasury of Latvia. Before I went to UC Berkeley, I used that with Financial Investigation Bureau, how to find financial criminals better. Yes, they spin the same wheel. And can you imagine them, that you are thinking it's crazy, but then there are these investigators with 30 years of experience, and they say, oh, let's spin the wheel and find the ways how to catch the criminals. Crazy, but later they said, oh, Elena, those methods works. Yes, because they help to extract ideas out of your minds. That is the main idea of all these methods. And sometimes students say, okay, we have great ideas, we have no support, we need money, we need extra knowledge, and so on. This is just a small drop if we are looking from Latvia perspective, but if we are zooming out to Europe or global perspective, there are so many opportunities for the students to get extra knowledge, extra funding, and so on. And it's not limited like there's university programs, it's limited only for university students. No, it's only also for the pupils, so they could participate. And what I'm, on the one hand, I'm proud, and on the other hand, I'm a little bit ashamed, because we have organized at Riga Technical University different kind of hackathons for the students. But we open also them for the pupils. And last year we organized new hackathon type that was recognized in 2025 as the best open innovation approach globally by Henry Chesbrook himself. And in two of those hackathons, how do you think? Who won? Pupils or students? Pupils. Yes! That is like, we have created this new type of hackathons. It's like amazing. But when we are opening this ecosystem for everybody, we could think, okay, students have some kind of competitive advantage due to their longer life in that. No, pupils. It was even not grade 12, it was grade 10 that won, the students that are in master level. Boom. So, your students should look for all the opportunities, all the universities are open. And now, when I was in Silicon Valley, I also asked for these different kind of program holders. So, this is for students, it's only for Berkeley, only for Stanford. They are like, no, it's globally open, and it's not only for students. Everybody could participate starting from 15. I was like, okay, game is on. And I would just share as crazy all these opportunities, because there are so many. In Latvia, I give the stats for my students always when they are saying, oh, Elena, idea is not the problem. The funding is a problem. Support is a problem. And I say, okay, now each of you write one of your dream ideas. And for the next class, you need to come with 3 post-it notes where you can get some support. And they are saying, no, where I will get the money for my ballet play or for my book or for my business. But they have never Googled. Now they are Googling, they are coming back and they are saying, oh, Elena, there is a funding and support for these ideas. And in the last 5 years, when I'm doing this small activity, we have counted at least 70 unique sources for support. And globally, wow, there will be even more. And there will be just a few examples from our university when our colleagues have used these drops of the funding and support, what kind of innovations they have created. I'm proud about my colleague Brigitte Deus. She has created a solution how to clean wastewater out of the antibiotics with mushrooms. How to do that? Amazing. She has researched and implemented that. I have colleague Victor Hariktonos. He is using old tires and ashes to create road construction materials. And then Marius Shinka, he is the father of LabLabs, that 3D concrete printed LabLabs brother that maybe you will see going to the dinner, something like that. Yes, he is creating these 3D concrete print, large scale printing, different kind of technologies. Then underwater drones are created in Latvia, and this was a student team. Yes, they came also, I think, from junior achievement activities. And in our university, they started to create underwater drones, and they are brilliant in attracting the funding. They have attracted, I think, even soon there will be 1 million, I think, at least. But how they are adopting their idea is fascinating, because basically they have created like underwater iRobot. But then comes the defense ministry, and they are saying, oh, this is specially created for defense. And they are explaining all the needs that they could satisfy, and they get the funding. Then comes, for example, I think it was Prime Minister from Costa Rica or something like that. Very interesting. And they are saying, oh, we specially created this one for Costa Rica. You know, you have this algae problem in the sea. This could deal with that. And I'm just looking like, what you are saying? But they are all the time adapting one technology to different kind of needs, and that's how they are attracting a lot of funding. And I think it's brilliant. They are really using a lot of drops of opportunities. Yes, that was the first one. The second suggestion, stay constantly on the wave of innovations, as I mentioned. All the time, new ideas are important, not only at the beginning. So all the time you need to find something brilliant to add and add. Also for those students, maybe they will be bored with their first idea, so you need to give them hints how to find the next fascinating additive for their ideas. And about artificial intelligence, yes, artificial intelligence could help you in some kind of sparring elements, you know, to discuss opportunities and so on. But I always say for students, don't use a simple like ChatGPT versions or something like that. Create your own avatars that you would like to speak with that has those capabilities that you don't have. For example, I'm super positive. I'm very bad at evaluations. So what I did, I created one avatar that is like black hat, with critiquing everything what I'm saying and so on. And then I had also other avatars that I talk with. It was Firefly. It was like motivating one, because sometimes I have the problem with motivation, because I need to create 200 events for the students per year, and every time it should be something unique and outstanding. And then you are sitting in the night at the time and think, okay, what kind of unique event number 200 and something I will create, and I have no motivation. And that Firefly was trained to be very positive, supporting, but never giving ideas, only extracting ideas out of me. So also your students could create their own avatars that they could speak with. And what I'm proud about, that one of my students created my digital twin. He just put in all materials from my courses. He even recorded during the lectures how I'm speaking, all my emotions and everything else. And he created my digital twin that we will really test in university level. It was just playing around till now, but from September we will use that in innovation study courses, and our students could speak with me in their native language. Yes, my digital twin is very smart. At the moment speaks in 15 languages. And and it is so funny because it speaks very well in 15 languages, but it speaks really bad in Latvian because for the first time when I spoke with myself there, I was like, in what kind of language I'm speaking? And I'm like, oh, Latvian. It's not good. It's not good at all. But yeah, we will test that in our university, and if you want, you can also speak with me over there, and it's not only like writing. You can really video call my digital twin and get those emotions like, oh, you can do that, you can do that, you can do that, let's do that, you are cool, you can find all the information. So with all the real voice and emotions. But my advice is always create, if you want some kind of sparring partner, you can create your own. It doesn't cost a lot. My first Firefly and other things were created for free. It was just blocked because I created my Firefly and always shared with all audiences where I went. And it was twice blocked because it was used by 3,000 people each time, and the owners of those sites blocked me. So you can create your own. And there comes the method that could help you to keep on the waves of innovations. Have you used research ink blocks to generate ideas? No? Oh my God. So it's so crazy, but it really works. So these are original ink blocks from research that are used in other rooms, not in business rooms. But it has been turned in idea generation method that use visual associations. And you can define the question. Our question is one all the time, you know, today we are bored of lollipop creation company. So, and first comes the question, for example, we need new lollipop ideas. Next thing, we need to choose a card. For example, I will choose card number 5. And then I think, okay, card number 5, what I see there, I see the butterfly, some kind of insect, Batman, something like that. And then I think, okay, but what kind of new lollipop it is? It could be protein lollipop, maybe with some kind of insects inside. It could be black lollipop, I don't know, with some kind of very tasty ink, maybe, that could make the tongue colorful and so on. Yeah, it is basically you are defining the question and then you try to see the answer in the ink block. One thing is I'm saying that it works, but maybe I have just rehearsal it everything. Now it will be again opportunity for you to earn the Oscar, the lab. So you need to reinvent the lollipop. What you can choose one of the cards that seems the most intriguing for you, and based on that card you can name what kind of new lollipop do you see there. So who would like to share idea about new lollipops based on these crazy ink blocks? You can do it.
As I'm Latvian speaking and I'm come from Liepāja, and I thought about the card 5, so my lollipop name will be Knausis, which is for ots, so the insect name, yeah.
Excellent. It will be biting a lollipop or something like that, that you are biting in a lollipop and it bites you instead. Okay, Oscar goes to you. And when you are using this method in classroom or somewhere, you can say that and I will give you the bigger labs. Excellent, excellent. I love it. So, it's a very simple and crazy method, but again, with the same financial investigation bureau. Boom. I thought that they will just say, Aline, please go away. But they tried this and they saw the opportunities how to find those criminals. We have used this method to create new medical devices, for the foods and beverages. It's like all the time one of the best methods. You can see here a lot of solutions because it's not like magic. All the ideas are based on associations. And this is just visual association here. And that's the reason why your brains could start to offer some kind of ideas and you are not in the situation when there is a blank page and you cannot generate anything. This is a very simple one, but it really works. Do you need to use these ink blocks? No. You can create your own, some kind of ink blocks or something like that. You just give some kind of cards with random things and say, students, find your business idea, and so on. Because I have been in the situation where students come and say, okay, Aline, what kind of business idea I need to implement? And I ask what kind of ideas you would like to do, and they don't know. And they say, but maybe you can name something cool and I will do that. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to find something that triggers you. And that is a perfect idea. And then we are using some of these methods. And then they find something unique that they could work with. So next one, create new oceans with surprising ideas. And you really need to use a lot of methods, even for this lollipop thing. If we will spend 15 minutes with rolling the wheel, then with a research, with each of these methods, you will get different ideas for those lollipops. And that's the reason why I always say at least 3 methods per question. If you try to find new business ideas or where to go next, 3 methods. And maybe you will find something really unique, because the first ideas with the first methods are not always the best ones. And even if it is something existing like lollipop, there is this brilliant method that I think a lot of you are using, the scamper method. How many of you are using scamper method? Nope? I'm so happy. So this is a brilliant tool that you can take home. It means that you can define existing things like lollipop or the bike, and then you find through 7 different kind of modifications what to do next, what will be 2-0 effect. You will Google scamper and you will find these all explanations. For example, how to reinvent the bike. For example, the first thing, let's substitute something in bike. Let's substitute metal frame with glass frame so we can get glass mousse, this glass bike. Let's combine bike plus other things, plus sofa. It's sofa bike, very popular in United Kingdom. Adapt. Adapt means something is changing all the time. The simple bike, let's create the bike that grows with the kids. So this is a speed up bike. Then let's modify the bike. Let's make it bigger, something smaller. Here is a wish hand bike that is a very, very, very small bike. Put to other use. How we are using the bikes, go on the ground. How we can use in different modes. For example, water bike, to make electricity, to draw something, and so on. Let's eliminate something, and let's eliminate a seat or something else, and then we get, for example, bionic runner, the first bike without the seat, or reverse. Let's reverse all the logic. How we are using the bike? We are sitting on the frame, reverse logic. We are under the frame, in the frame. And I asked Mother Google, do we have such kind of bikes? And she said, or he said, yes, there is a fleet bike. You see, the rider is under the seat, under the frame, in the frame, and going like this. And we say, okay, it's crazy why we need such kind of bike. Such kind of bikes are used in rehabilitation processes. So if we can reinvent the bike, and there is a saying we cannot, then we can reinvent almost anything. And I know that my engineering students love this method. They really love to fill the boxes, but these boxes doesn't limit you to make only incremental things. Sometimes these boxes help to extract something radical. So for engineering students, it is very tricky to give the raw search. They are like, what is happening? They don't feel comfortable with those searching blocks. But when I give this method, they are like, oh, yes, it feels better, let's create. And that's also why I give a different kind of methods for all the students, because you never know what kind of students do you have really in the class. And if you use 3 methods, at least you will catch 60% in your class with the right methods. And just how much time I have? I don't have much time, I think. 2 minutes, excellent. So don't be afraid to swim in wider waters, catch bigger prizes, bigger fishes, and sometimes to find something more extraordinary could help super methods. For example, superhero method. Have you tried superhero method to generate ideas? Oh, you have so many gifts in your pocket today. Bless you, bless you. So, superhero method means that I will not generate ideas as Elena. I will jump in shoes of superhero. And I will think, okay, superhero, I will be, for example, Batman. Batman is very rich. There's special light signal. And then we have these lollipops. What kind of new lollipops I could create if I am Batman? It could be super black, some kind of lollipop. It could be the lollipop that could give some kind of light signal or something like that. And then you are jumping those shoes. And it really helps to change associations if you are not thinking as yourself, but as someone else. And I always allow students to choose what kind of superheroes there will be. And then there is a group of Hulks, group of Spider-Mans, groups of Wonder Womans. And I'll give the same task, but all these groups come back with different kind of ideas. Why? Because they had these different kind of angles to look from, those superhero experience angles and other things. Sounds silly, but try. You will find how crazy and innovative are your students. And the last one, be the light in your field. Share all these methods. And sometimes there is a problem that students generate a lot of crazy, amazing ideas with these methods. And then comes the next problem, how to choose. So now I give the last gift of the day, the wow, now, how method, how to evaluate those ideas. For example, after all these 4 methods, we have hundreds of post-it notes, and then we can put that in wow, now, how matrix. And there are 2 criteria. How easy or complex is to implement ID. So easy for implementation, we have all resources, we have all knowledge, and impossible to implement. So we are missing a lot of knowledge, we don't have resources. And the other thing is innovation angle. Is it a normal ID? Nothing new, now new value, or original ID, so something new with extra value. And then you are just throwing those post-it notes in right places. If ID is impossible to implement, but very original, it's how ID, great idea, but how to do that if we don't have resources and we don't know how to do that? Those ideas are good for the future. You need to put them in pockets. Say students, keep them, maybe in the next 3 years, there will be right resources, everything else, and you will implement them. Then there are also very original ideas, but easy to implement. Wow ideas, those are the first that you are catching, and you say, students, go immediately to implement this idea, because those are ideas that are winning the contest, get the funding and everything else. Easy to implement, very original. And then there are ideas also for easy to implement, but nothing new. Those are now ideas. If for just a check, you need to do something, you can do that, but I'm not encouraged to do that for the students. And then there is this empty box. Nothing new and very hard to implement. Those are only ideas that you can leave your students to forget. Don't waste your student time with ideas that are not unique, and also it's very hard for implementation. So from my side, thank you very much that you spent these 45 minutes with me, and if you need me, just call Alina and I will be there. Thank you.
Wonderful. We have our creative functions already flowing. Aline, we will continue on with the presentations. And by the way, the only thing that's left is actually to invite you to a very special event next March here in Riga. We will be having the International Student Company Festival, a 3-day celebration. For that one, there's going to be a short video on the screen, and then that's it. You can get ready for the evening program. You have a little bit of time to yourselves. But before you leave, let's have a look through the video for the event.
Welcome to one of the most vibrant youth entrepreneurship events in Europe.
That's a lot of people.
The year of ideas, innovation, and youth-driven business.
This is a celebration for youth entrepreneurship, creativity, and of course, international cooperation.
The International Student Company Festival, or ISCF, is an internationally well-known event for student company program participants. Each year, it gathers many great student companies from more than 10 countries and hosts over 100 student companies. It's more than a competition. It's a dynamic experience with networking, a teachers' conference, student activities, video presentations, a pitching stage, a trade fair, and finally, an award ceremony and after party.
This is the event. This is the event not only in the Baltics, but in Europe. It's becoming so big.
It's a festival that brings countries closer, building a future across borders.
International, of course, it expands the borders.
So that's the big thing, yeah.
The impact goes far beyond these 3 days. What starts here at a stand, in a conversation, on a pitch stage, continues to grow in schools, startups, and communities across Europe.
This is growing year after year. It's becoming one of the best international student festivals that we have in the JA family. And it's nice to see this innovation of those young people.
This festival is not only just a competition, this is a platform.
It's a great job.
Ideas are made to spread.
I'm fascinated about the young generation who is presenting the brilliant ideas.
I like that the new generation is thinking about the entrepreneurship. It's an amazing opportunity to have new experiences for these students.
This will be super valuable for your success.
Be curious, be open, and of course be bold.
Experience
the energy and make
memory
that lasts a lifetime. Join International Student
Company
Festival in Latvia.
Okay, there we go. That's the one for next year. So when you're going out of the room, you will have the wonderful people helping you out and giving you out discount codes. For now, you're free, and see you at 8:15, I think, but you will find a program outside. Thank you for the educator session. Free time for you. Let's go.